Welcome to A Quest for Metal, and today we're doing the big four of every genre. Every conceivable genre that's ever been created. Probably not. We're probably going to do as much as I can remember. And there'll be genres I miss off. There's no gore grind on here. There's no porno grind. There's no glam on here, because I don't know four glam bands, to be honest. That's the genre that I'm least familiar with. So before I even start with my list, just know that there's not every genre here. But before I get on with my list, let me know down below what's the big four of every genre in your opinion. Because I'd be interested to see what you guys think for each genre of metal. So, you all know thrash metal, the big four of thrash: Metallica, fucking Slayer, Anthrax and Megadeth. That's common knowledge. That's out there, everyone knows it, everyone loves it. Some people may be like, Anthrax shouldn't be there. I'm kind of one of them. I think Testament should be there instead. But it's already established. That's the big four. We're going to try and do big four for every other genre. So, thrash out of the way. Let's get fucking started. Death metal. From thrash to death, it's a natural progression, isn't it? So for death metal, leading the pack, basically the Metallica of death metal, is Death. Chuck and the boys, you gotta have Death leading the pack for death metal. But who's the other three gonna be? That's set in stone. There's always a band set in stone. Death is set in stone for death metal. The other bands, we're gonna go with Morbid Angel. Classic band, not quite as good as anymore after Illid, Divinum Anus, and Kingdom's Disdain. I wasn't a big fan of either. Heretic was a bit meh, so. But the earlier stuff, Covenant, Blessed Are the Sick, Altars of Madness, Gateways to Annihilation, brain melting. Yeah, gotta be here. We're also gonna put. It's a hard one. We're also gonna put Incantation here. It's almost, it's bordering Death Doom. I don't think it's quite there. And they are a staple. One of the best death metal bands. So Incantation is going in the big four. And also Deicide is the final one. Deicide, classic, more satanic version of death metal. So you got Deicide, Death, Morbid Angel, and Incantation. You're probably thinking, where's Cannibal Corpse? Well, they're in another genre, so let's get to that. Brutal death metal. This is death metal, but more extreme, more just in your face. The lyrics are probably like gorier. It's just more intense. Cannibal Corpse is leading the pack. It's the most famous death metal band. Of course it's going to be here. Cannibal Corpse. Gotta love them. I love them. It's one of my first death metal bands. Still love them. Cannibal Corpse is going to be here. Also Suffocation. Come on. You gotta have Suffocation here. They are one of the best, if not the best, of the brutal death metal bands. Brutal / technical. A lot of these bands can kind of go into two different genres. Love me some Suffocation. My favourite is probably Effigy of the Forgotten. And if you hear pitter patter of rain outside, it's because it's wet. Also Dying Fetus, one of the bigger brutal death metal bands. You gotta have Dying Fetus here as well. And the fourth one's a bit hard. I'm gonna go with something which is brutal death / slam, and that's Devourment. Probably the biggest slam band you can find. And I'm not going to do a slam genre. I'm not going to do a big four for slam, so Devourment is going here. Probably the heaviest band out of these four. Slamming fucking riffs. It's brutal as all hell. And death metal, it's called brutal death metal. I think Devourment's pretty brutal. Come on, Devourment's pretty brutal, so it's going here. Now to Death Doom. Paradise Lost is the headliner here. Paradise Lost, one of the oranges of Death Doom. Gotta love them. And the latest album, Obsidian, so good. Joke over that all the time. Alongside that, you also have My Dying Bride. And so My Dying Bride is going along with it. And you also kind of have Anathema. But they had two Death Doom albums. And then they kind of went off into this kind of pop prog kind of sound, which I still love. But I'm not too sure whether to put them here, because you could have them, you could have Catatonia, you could have Swallow the Sun. I'm going to put Swallow the Sun here, because they were Death Doom from the beginning, and they never changed the fucking sound. They're Death Doom throughout the entire discography. Whereas Anathema changed. Sure, Paradise Lost did as well, but they're like the icons. So, yeah. Swallow the Sun's going here. And finally, Autopsy. You're gonna be like, yeah, it's pure death metal. Sure, whatever. I could swap it with Asphyx, and again, you could say the same thing, but Mental Funeral, go re-listen to it. That's so fucking Death Doomy. It's ridiculous how Death Doomy it actually is. If I'm not allowed that, if I'm not allowed Autopsy, I'll swap it with Anathema. So then you've got Paradise Lost, Anathema, My Dying Bride, and Swallow the Sun. So, there you go. Death Doom. Next up is technical death metal. And the pioneers for this one, the big band for technical death metal. This one's hard. This one is hard. But I think we're going to go with Atheist. Kind of the band that kind of pioneered it, brought it up to life. Atheist is going to be the leading member of the Big Four for technical death metal. Following it up, we have Nile. Got that kind of Egyptian flair to the technical death metal. Love Nile, one of my favourite bands of all time. They're going in my Big Four. Easily. Cryptopsy is coming in the Big Four as well. Could argue Brutal, but they're so technical as well. None So Vile, what a fucking masterpiece. Blasphemies Made Flesh. Cryptopsy, easily making it into the Big Four. And finally, it's going to be Cynic. It's going to be Cynic. You know? Another band that's leading that technical kind of charge. And it was a band that didn't get a lot of recognition back in the day, but over time, they have. And I could swap it for Gorguts, but Cynic, I'm picking Cynic for it. So Cynic is the last place here. Next up, we got traditional doom metal, and you all know Black Sabbath is the headliner for this one. No one's going to argue with me on that one. Come on. Volume 4, fucking Master of Reality, Paranoid. Oh my god. Doom metal at its goddamn finest. Easily the leader. Candlemass is coming in next. A lot of different singers, a lot of different styles, but it's all doom, all epic, all doomy. And that's what you want with doom. Next up, this one's hard. I could go with Saint Vitus. I could go with Trouble. I could go with Cathedral. I could go with all three. Next up is Funeral Doom, the slower, more dreary version of doom. And we've got Mournful Congregation as the best. It's the most well known. It's the biggest. You get a lot of Aussie bands. And these are one of the best. Love Mournful Congregation. Next up we got Ahab, because they're leading the pack these days. And they are so fucking good. And they're one of my favourite bands. So I'm 100% putting them here because of bias. Yeah? Ahab. So good. Next up, Skepticism. Got this kind of cathedral-esque sound to the Funeral Doom music. This kind of choir-esque kind of church sound to the Funeral Doom. And it works so well with them. And finally, Esoteric. Another big Funeral Doom band that a lot of people know. And they dropped an album, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it was really fucking good. All their albums are amazing. That's it for Funeral Doom. So coming into a big one, heavy metal. Who's going to lead the pack for heavy metal? Judas Priest is leading the pack for heavy metal. Judas goddamn Priest. Next up is Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's got to be in here as well. I prefer Iron Maiden to Judas Priest, slightly. But Judas Priest came first. And also, if you tell me, what's a heavy metal band? Judas Priest is probably the most heavy metal band I can think of. So, fucking Judas Priest is leading the pack here. Iron Maiden, of course, next. No one's arguing that Iron Maiden isn't heavy metal, because they goddamn are. Also, Motorhead's going here. Sure, it could be speed metal, but, you know, they're around the same time as Judas Priest. I'm throwing them in with heavy metal. Overkill, such a fucking great album. And finally, I'm going to go with Dio. The solo band Dio for heavy metal, because we've had Black Sabbath in the Doom. I'm going to throw some Dio love in the heavy metal category. So, that's that one sorted. There's not going to be too many arguments. Well, there might be. Saying, like, why is Motorhead in there? Why isn't Iron Maiden in its own category with Def Leppard and Saxon? Rabble, rabble, rabble. Well, you can do that yourselves in the comments, but we're moving on to the next category. Next up is Power Metal. And who created Power Metal? It's a little spooky boy. Halloween. No, Halloween. I fucked that up, didn't I? Halloween. They created Power Metal. so good. Keep with the Seven Keys, Part 1 and 2. Wars of Jericho. You know, loads of good albums. Loads of fast, interesting, cool guitar. Cool vocal melodies. Love me some power metal. Halloween is leading the pack. Also here, Blind Guardian. Probably my favourite power metal band of all time. Love the themes. Love like the Lord of the Rings stuff. The kind of book stuff they do. Nerdy. Very nerdy. But I love it. Blind Guardian's here. Iced Earth's here as well. Power metal but with like an edge. Better riffs, better kind of... It's more heavy. It's more heavy power metal. So if you can't get into power, try Iced Earth. Burnt Offerings especially. It's a spicy meatball. Finally, Camelot. I'm going to put here. Camelot is rounding out power metal. I could put like Stratovarius and stuff, but, you know, I'm going with Camelot. It's probably the most well-known one out of them, to be honest. For like casual listeners, Camelot's probably the most well-known one. And they do it so well. Different singers, they're all fucking great. Roy is amazing. Tommy is amazing. Love all the albums, Camelot's awesome. So then we're moving on to symphonic metal. Love me some symphonic metal, and leading the pack is Nightwish. Of course it is. It's fucking Nightwish. You can't go anywhere. You can't step outside your door without someone screaming about Nightwish. All the reaction videos, everything that's happening, Nightwish fever. They gotta lead the pack. Also, here's Epica, my personal favourite symphonic metal band. Love them. Love Simone's voice. Love the kind of duality between the harsh and the beauty of, you know, the screaming and the beautiful singing. Love Epica. Within Temptations here as well. Yeah, Sharon's voice is a fucking angel. I've seen them live. Beautiful. Beautiful singing. Beautiful band. Love Within Temptation. And rounding it off is Rhapsody of Fire. I could easily put this in power metal as well. I wanted to give some love to Rhapsody of Fire. They do have a lot of symphonic elements, especially later in the career. A lot of bombasticness. Is that a word? Bombasticness. A lot of oomph. A lot of like choirs and just, you know, loads of things going on, basically. Love Rhapsody of Fire. So they're making it at the number 4 spot. Another big one. Black metal. We're coming into black metal now. Leading the pack for black metal is Mayhem. Now, are they the best? Probably not. But they're still fucking fantastic. And people who just say, oh, they only have one good album and an EP, no, they got other good stuff. De Mysterious, obviously, in Deathcore is great. Chimera's awesome, though. So is Grand Declaration of War. That's pretty cool. What's the new one? Damon is fantastic. Damon is fantastic. So they got a lot of good albums. And all the controversy in the movies and everything, blah, blah, blah. They're the most well-known black metal band. So Mayhem is coming in top. Next, of course, is Burzum. You gotta have Burzum where there is smoke, there is fire, as Smoke would say. Burzum. You all know Varg. You all hate him or love him. He's like Marmite. But they are influential and they have a lot of good albums. Philosophem got me into black metal, so Burzum's going here. Next up, we got Emperor for that kind of symphonic edge to the black metal, which no one was really doing. And Emperor just kind of, oh, they made it so good. They made it so good and no one could beat it. No one can beat it. No one can top it. I love Emperor. Isan is a genius and this album, well, this band is fantastic. And finally, Dark Throne. You got to round off the quadrilogy with Dark Throne. One of the better black metal bands. Intense, raw aggressiveness. Started out as death metal, but, you know, they are. I just remembered something. I don't know if there's going to be a folk metal one or a Viking metal one, but I just remembered Bathory. And they should be leading the fucking pack. But we'll do a folk one, alright? We'll do a folk one. We'll put Bathory there. But yeah, black metal. Dark Throne is coming in here. Next up is Prog Metal, progressive metal, one of my favourites. Leading the pack, coming in top, Dream Theater, the biggest, most well-known, one of the best. Love Dream Theater, love everything they've done. They're easily coming here. Next up is Fate's Warning, another early contributor to prog metal. Of course they got to be here. It's Fate's fucking Warning. Amazing albums, just as iconic as Dream Theater, coming here. On the number 3 spot, should be Queensryche. Should be Queensryche. And in all intents and purposes, it is Queensryche. But I don't like Queensryche, so I'm going to put Tool here. Not quite as influential, not quite as, you know, big, but fuck it, I don't like Queensryche. So Tool's going here, and then rounding off the pack is Opeth, because They do death metal and prog, and they merge it so well. They also do black metal prog and merge it well. Yeah, Opeth's my favourite band. Of course, it's going here. It's my number one favourite band, so of course it's going in the prog metal section. And if you're annoyed that Tool's here, just take it with a grain of salt. Put Queensryche here instead if you like them. I don't like them, and this is my fucking list, so Tool's here instead. Next up, melodic death metal. We've had death, we've had black, we've had loads of shit. We haven't had melodic death, have we? The top band is Carcass. Of course it is. They kind of made it with Heartwork. Fantastic album. Necroticism, cool album. Surgical Steel, cool shit. It's gotta be Carcass. And then we got the Gothenburg trio. In Flames, Dark Tranquility, and At the Gates. Come on. I mean, that's all I need to say. This is an easy one. Melodic death metal is a fucking easy one. Next up is new metal. Wigga wigga wigga. I fucking hate. So leading the pack is Korn. Of course it's Korn, you know. They kind of created new metal, for better or worse. Korn's definitely going here. Next to them, Limp Bizkit. You may hate them. They're a big fucking band. They're also fun live. I've seen them twice live and they're pretty fun. Yeah, guilty pleasure. Whatever. Did it all for the Nucky, alright? I did it all for the fucking Nucky. Linkin Park is here as well. One of the biggest new metal bands. Gotta be here. Everyone loves Linkin Park. Everyone. I think they're alright. So not everyone, but most people. And rounding it off, we have Slipknot, which may piss people off because they always say it's not new metal. But if you really listen to the debut, that's 100% new metal. Their other albums are more heavy metal, but that debut is new metal as fuck. And that's what made them big. So we're going to throw them here. Because, Slipknot's a big band. They got to be in the big four somewhere. What else are they going to be in the big band? They're going to be in the big four of heavy metal? No, they're fucking not. Not even fucking close to being as good as Judas Priest or Iron Maiden. They're going to go in the big four of new metal because they're probably the best band here. They are the best band here, so give them some love. Folk metal. Here's where I'm going to put Bathory. Bathory. Sure, they should be black. But they're folk as well. Have you heard, Nordland 1, Nordland 2? Have you heard, Twilight of the Gods? Hammerheart? Fucking folk metal. And the first album is, first wave of black, thrash metal. So really, they could be in any genre and put them in folk because most of their albums are folky. Love me some Bathory. Oh god, Bathory's so good. The folky albums are good. The thrash albums good. The black metal albums are fantastic. One of the best bands ever made. Bathory's going here. Also here is Corpiclani, another band which is fun, a fun little drinking band, and that's what you like with folk metal. Fun, drinky, nonsense shit. And so's Moon Sorrow, great band, but more technical. Cool guitar solos, cool screaming, singing. Moon Sorrow, underrated as hell. And finally, Eluvate. Eluvate, beautiful singing. Screams and the singing like kind of Epica does. Folk instrumentation. It's a great band. Next up is Grindcore. Of course, Napalm Death is running the helm for Grindcore. We've also got Anal Cunt, Pig Destroyer, and Cattle Decapitation. Big slayers on this one. All amazing and in your face and abrasive and just that's what you want with Grindcore, and that's what these guys deliver. Next up is Metalcore. Controversial genre, Metalcore. Let's go with Killswitch Engage. You know Killswitch Engage is going to be the top. One of the first kind of big metalcore bands. One of the best as well. Different singers, all good. All have something different to them. Trivium's here as well. Love Trivium. Shoguns, fantastic. Ascendancy is a classic. Still love Trivium today. Also here is Parkway Drive. One of the best newer metalcore bands. Love the intensity, the energy they have. They're just a fucking great stadium band. And finally, As I Lay Dying. Another great one. I wanted to put Avenged Sevenfold here. But they are only metalcore for an album or two. So, But yeah, As I Lay Dying, metalcore through and through, awesome band. So of course, you got the metalcore, deathcore now. Deathcore, we're gonna have Suicide Silence as the big one here because they're they're the ones that kind of created it. They're the ones that kind of created it. Everyone knows Suicide Silence. Kind of fallen off recently, but back in the day, fucking heavy as hell. Those breakdowns, goddamn. Whitechapel's here as well. And back in the day, heavy as fuck. Now even better. People like Trenches will shit on this because he doesn't like the newer Whitechapel, but I like the more melodic, less deathcore-y, more actual heavy metal sound of like the Valley. Oh god, it's so good. So good. Love Whitechapel now. They Art Is Murder is here as well. Another fantastic band. And Carnifex. World War X was amazing. So there's 4 big ass deathcore bands for your big ass. Next up is Groove Metal. Groove Metal. Pantera. Come on. Of course it's Pantera. What else is it going to be? Fuck off. Of course it's Pantera. Next up is Lamb of God. You know, a newer groove band which is kind of leading the pack after Pantera. Leading the fucking pack. Next up, Devil Driver. One which I've kind of fallen off with, but they are big. People love them, and they're groove metal, so they go in here. And also Machine Head. Another one I've kind of fallen out with, but they're big, and they go in here just like Devil Driver. So, goddamn Catharsis was a piece of shit, though. Anyway, heading on to the final genre. So finally is alternative metal. I've probably missed off lots. But, you know, fuck it. You know, this video's not going to go on too long. Alternative metal is next. System of a Down is the top. The headliners, come on. I love all the songs. They got me into metal, pretty much. Come on. System of a Down is great. Deftones is here as well. Gotta love the Deftones. Sorry. Gotta love Deftones. People get triggered when you say the Deftones. Really interesting, really unique band, and again, they're kind of headlining, sub-headlining, so big props to the Deftones. Faith No More is here as well. Very alternative, very cool. Mike Patton, amazing vocalist. Everyone loves them. Finally here, I want to put Rage Against the Machine, but I don't know if that's actually alternative metal, but I guess you could say alternative for anything. I could put Disturbed here. I don't know if that's new metal or alternative. I'm going to go with Rage Against the Machine for now. But let me know if they're actually new alternative metal or not. So that does it for the big 4 of every genre. I'm sure I've missed off loads. I haven't done one for Black and Thrash, but if I was going to do that quick, Venom, fucking Skeleton Witch is cool. Midnight is cool, and Toxic Holocaust. I guess there you go. There's 4 Black and Thrash bands for your ass. Oh, Destroyer 666 as well. Oh, Sodom. Oh, shit. What about Teutonic Thrash? You know, Crater, Sodom, Tankard. It's usually free. Yeah, usually free. Oh, Destruction as well, idiot. Destruction, yeah, there's the 4 of German Teutonic Thrash. Anything else I'm missing off? Like, Slam, obviously. Glam, obviously, but I don't really know too many bands in them. Gore grind, porno grind, all those weird, stupid genres. What? No. Yeah. I think we're good. So that is the big 4 of every genre. Let me know down below what you guys would pick for the big 4 in each genre. What did I miss off? What am I being retarded? Did I miss something? A big genre off? Let me know down below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.